But again, little did I know that after afternoon, there is absolutely nobody. It becomes absolutely eerie. And since it just starts becoming dark and it becomes the mist settles in. Suddenly from Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, it becomes like a Blair Witch project. The property which we were staying, we were the only person staying over there. And there was one caretaker. The only meal he could give us was a Maggie. That too at around 7:30 in the evening. And after that, he said, I'm leaving and there is nobody going to be there. And there is no mobile connectivity. Then I said, how should I call if there is some emergency? He said, there is a phone in the room. It had become pitch dark. There's nobody over there, and then there are dogs barking, and it becomes scary and all of that. And I said, phone doesn't work. He said, I know that. And suddenly at 8:30, there's a knock on the door, and I was shit scared.
Wait. We are not a horror podcast. This was just a glimpse of a travel story from our guest today. Welcome to episode 2 of Misadventures of a Sneaker, a travel podcast that's about stories, experiences, and a lot of travel recommendations from well-traveled people. Hi, I'm Godly.
And hi, I'm Revati. And where are we heading today? आज हम लोग एक मेगा फिल्मी वाली स्टेट में आपको लेके जा रहे हैं. You know, where you have a bunch of Bollywood super hits shot all around different locales in the state. कुछ होता है का समर कैंप कहाँ शूट हुआ था मालूम है? And then the trek in ये जवानी है दीवानी, the very sad scenes in that magical wala Lutera, and all these movies were shot idhar hi. So we have Nishant Prabhu, our friend, taking us to Himachal today. Lots of different places in Himachal itself. So let's get into a vacation mood. Pura filmy hone ke liye ready ho jao. You know, all the Shame Malang Si, Ilahi Mera Ji Aaye Aaye, Ilahi Mera Ji Aaye Aaye. Na. Yoo-hoo! I am to all set. Godly, are you all set?
Yeah, totally mood बना दिया तुमने.
चलो then, let's get started. Hi Nishant.
Hi Godly. Hello Revati.
अरे by the way, मुझे आज ही चमका कि you know we are having one Nishant Prabhu and we are having Godly with us today. Like too much of God between us, right? Prabhu and Godly. So for our listeners, let me tell you something about Nishant. I know you well. We've gone back a long time. Another of my extremely highly well-traveled friend. But Nishant ke bare mein kya ek mega unique cheez hai is that he's a legendary travel planner. And not just that, he's also a maha budget enthusiast. तो मैं तो जब भी अपना पैसे बचाओ travel करो वाले hacks, if I want to look for something like that, and Nishant is always my go-to person. For all itinerary planning, all travel hacks, anything and everything, it's always like I have to go to Nishant. Hamara to, in fact, every saal we do one, you know, large one group get together kind of a trip, jo hamesha hota hai, and getting the best deals. Nishant, kuch to batao na, koi to ek coupon code, promo code, कुछ तो बताओ ना, and he'll have something or the other. यहाँ के travel points use करो, वहाँ का coupon code use करो, 50% discount मिल जाएगा. Nishant is the guy.
Hello Nishant. Welcome to our podcast, Misadventures of a Sneaker. In every episode, our guests share their favorite travel stories or their favorite vacations or an experience which was just unforgettable for them. And you have chosen Dalhousie and Dharamsala as your favorite vacation. It's going to be great fun talking to you. So let's start off with knowing you a little better. Why don't you tell us something about yourself?
All right, great. But good to be here. Yeah. I think, like you mentioned, right? I'm a value seeker, and that reflects in the way I think and also in the businesses I've worked with. And so being a value seeker, even in travel, I look at the same kind of value, and hence I'm a budget trips enthusiast, if that's a term like that. And I see that how much maximum value I can do out of that same budget. And also that means in the same kind of, if there is a X amount of money that I want to spend on travel, I want to maximize. and hence either I cover more amount of places or I do more number of trips, right? And since childhood, have been quite used to public transport. Born and brought up in Mumbai, public transport is kind of defines me as well. So for me, public transport, using that to the hilt, has never been a problem. And being in sales, started my journey in corporate life also with sales and marketing roles. Just for official sake, I have been across all the states in the country. There is no state in the country that I haven't been to.
Sachi mein?
Yeah, that's true.
All Northeast completely
Yeah.
done.
Thankfully, even I was located worked in Northeast for quite some time, and I was handling that region. So thankfully, I have toured all the northeastern states as well.
Impressive.
But it's always been public transport, and it's always been thanks to LTC. I think today I credit that kind of initiative from the government when most of the folks, at least in the working class, were involved in working for the government, and this is the kind of initiative which pushed people to explore different cities and states in this country and tour around the country.
Very true, because that is how it became affordable for all of us to go anywhere. Yeah.
So again, it was a different, and that too in sleeper class in those days, not.
Yeah, and mummy has cooked all the khana for us and taken and all those things. Yeah, lots of train journey memories.
Yeah, so I think that becomes a part of the experience as well, right? So you're not just going to go to the end destination, but the journey. And I think, especially in a country like India, that can be so colorful. I think that matters a lot. And I think that's been the genesis basis which I also travel today as well. I want to experience the local life over there and have that entire feel and not just do a point-to-point stop, which is generally involved in tours.
I like this style of travel. Maza aata hai.
Yes.
All right. So, Godly.
We often say that a person is the book he reads or the movie he watches or the podcast he listens to. Could be anything, okay? So for you, if you had to choose 3 particular things, okay, that would give me a hint of what kind of a person you are, other than, of course, the budget traveler thing. So if you could just share 3 things that could help me to imagine like what kind of a person you are.
Okay. So I read a lot of short stories and stuff. So earlier I used to love Arkina, right? And I think that's the kind of, and hence the common man and hence the value which I look at it. In terms of movies, again, don't judge me. My favorite movie is K3G. I think K3G is after her era.
Yeah, K means it's Karan Johar movie.
No, Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum.
Oh, that's Shah Rukh.
She watched Shah Rukh movies mostly.
It was Kajol and Shah Rukh, the legendary Jodi was there.
That is true.
Kajol, Shah Rukh, Hrithik, Kareena, Amitabh, Jaya. So ये ensemble है cast, and it has all the masala elements, right? You want everything. Yeah. So I think that's the way. And the last thing is about Mumbai. So I absolutely love Mumbai. Though nowadays slightly inclined towards Bangalore. So yeah, weather and beer has played its charm.
Yes.
So me too. Absolutely do blue Mumbai ka. Today also when I go to Mumbai, my first point to stop is have the vada pav, have the misal pav. And even when I just last week was in Bombay, traveled by local train after a long time to get that feel. And I think it's that maximum city. I think it's completely defined by Bombay, and I think I truly stand by it.
Yeah, but I'm okay with managing with the beer in Bombay as well. But the halka weather वहाँ पे अच्छा होता है ना, तो मैं पक्का Bombay में रहती.
Yeah, I totally second that.
Very nice. Nishant, so आज का हमारा conversation is about your favoritest vacation destination, which is, what do you call it, the Other Himachal?
Yes. Himachal is always Shimla, Manali, and it has been beaten to death. Obviously, it's a wonderful place. It's a beautiful place. Manali is good. Rohtang is good. A lot of movies and everything have popularized this. I don't know whether you're aware, but Jee Jawani Hai Diwani
shows a favorite movie hai.
Shows a make my trip trek in Manali. That trek in the snow and all of that, and that lady hurts herself and all. That means completely inappropriately dressed for the snow and all of that.
True. Good shots. Very good shots. Yeah, for a snow trek. Yeah.
So Other Himachal is where it lies on the slightly, I would say, the western side of things, which is closer to the Pakistan side. So it starts from Pathankot, which is in Punjab, and you from there you go towards Kangra, you go towards Dalhousie. From Kangra, it's like a V. One side goes towards Dalhousie, other side goes towards Dharamsala. So I think these are the parts which have been slightly niche. So Dalhousie used to be good, quaint little town, suitable for honeymoon early days and all of that.
I still find it quaint. It's a cute town. It's बहुत लोग हैं, लेकिन फिर भी.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful, and it has some towns beyond it as well. And the towns itself are a destination. You need not go to spots nearby or go to spots around in the town as well. So most of the hotels will have good value facing rooms or nice Himalayan ranges facing rooms. So I think that's how you can chill over there. So I think that's best suited for honeymoon when you don't need to do anything else. So Dharamsala and McLeod Ganj again been kind of a hippie destination, and people have been trekking over there, and especially after the entire Tibetan thing was shifted. The government in exile, which resides in Dharamsala, I think a lot of more foreign tourists traveling there, obviously to meet His Holiness Dalai Lama and all of that. But also then they thought that this is in the Himalayas, so they had some nice yoga retreats nearby and say trekking destinations nearby to do all of that. So it's always been like this hippie destination, especially the McLeod Ganj part,
right?
And hence these are kind of niche destinations, I would say. And hence I call it the Other Himachal. So again, this was always on the cards. So I wanted to take a small break in this in the month of November.
Lovely weather.
Actually, if there's a region in this country which can showcase autumn weather, I think it would be this kind of region.
The fall colors.
Yes.
Oh.
So I think it was not just not completely cold, but yeah, it's just starting to get cold. So I think good for us. So I think it was good to travel in November. So this was what I had planned, and thankfully I researched a lot, especially on obviously online. A lot of websites exist, but Tripoto being a good kind of a go-to destination for me, especially when I want to research on a certain trip. Though this I had been around 7 years back, in that era, vlogs were not that famous. Today, even I don't go to Tripoto as well. I would just go to YouTube and search.
market.
Again, this was a budget trip, so and there is no airport. So the closest point to travel over there is a town called Pathankot. Pathankot is in Punjab, and it's absolutely close to the border. That also doesn't have an airport as yet as well. So the only way you can reach is take a train from Delhi. So what we had done is, since we were living in Mumbai and we wanted to utilize the Friday as well. So obviously we were in Friday in office. Second half we left and again rushed home, and there was a flight in the evening to go to Delhi. And then the same night there was a train from Delhi to go to Pathankot. The exciting part about this entire trip is something which happened and which is not completely related to which is absolutely unrelated to the trip, is this momentous announcement which happened a week earlier, which was the whole demonetization thing.
My God.
And the thing is, I'll tell you, to be really frank, right? It hadn't hit us that how serious it would be. And we realized it only when we actually reached there. Because most of us living in Bombay, more or less, are quite used to a digital ecosystem. We're using cards and whatever, order groceries from Big Basket or whatever. So cash either way was not insignificant in our lives even then. But when you're traveling, and especially to a place where digital ecosystem or even something like debit card itself is quite rare. Yeah. So
yeah. I mean, it must have been really difficult. Bapre, Small, because everything is small. Stores are small, restaurants are small, so they won't even have
taxi.
The kind of taxi. Yeah.
So this is the funny thing. So what happened is, obviously it was a week before when the entire announcement was done. I did have some cash with me. Again, it was around 2 to 3K. That's all I had. I had not withdrawn for that day. I think it was a 2K limit per day you could withdraw. That was the case. So he said, okay, we'll reach Delhi and possibly we'll withdraw over there. We rushed to Mumbai airport. Again, I don't know what happened that day. It was crazy traffic. We somehow just reached when the counters are about to close. got into the flight, and the flight itself was late. Thankfully, the flight was late, and hence we could get the flight. And we landed in Delhi. The train from Delhi leaves at around 10 o'clock in the night. We got out of the airport. We took a cab directly to the station. And again, we were just pushing the cab guy, okay, get us to the station.
मुझे land कर 10 o'clock train है तो.
In the melee, I forgot to inform to the driver that it is not the New Delhi station. So the trains for this part of the region, yeah, it leaves from Purani Delhi station.
तो फिर ये चमका कब?
So मुझे तभी पता चला कि let's like once again look at the platforms, and then we saw it shows the station code as DLI, which is Old Delhi. And then I said, okay, this is not the same station. And my wife, both me, just two of us were traveling, me and my wife, and Rupa was really, really angry. Went to station nahi sahi dekh paye. To the point we have paid the cab driver extra just because he got us there on time.
आप लोग उतर गए थे गाड़ी से?
Yeah. After we were going to the platform, just figuring out which platform it is, I wanted to understand which train number. And then I saw the train number. It states DLI and Old Delhi and all of that.
What time was this?
This was around some 20 minutes or half an hour was left for the train to leave.
Oh.
And then if you again it's peak time traffic in Friday evening in Delhi. Again, though New Delhi and Old Delhi are not that far.
I was going to ask kitna dur hai. I have no idea.
Distance, so it should be not more than 5-6 kilometers.
Okay.
Thankfully, I knew because I had stayed in Delhi for more than a year. So I know Old Delhi station is closest to a metro station near Chandni Chowk. So the fastest way to get there was metro. And thankfully, I don't know to what stroke of luck, both me and Rupa had our Old Delhi metro cards with us.
My God.
So
amazing organized ho tum log yaar. मैं तो काट के फेंक देती हूँ.
So we just tried our luck. And we could travel to Chandni Chowk straight away from metro. NDLS has a metro station below it. And we had to lug the luggage. Finally, we reached the station and just we got into the train and train started moving.
Wow, starting ही इतना exciting. बाप रे बाप.
तो इस सब में एक चैलेंज हुआ कि हमने कहीं कैश विड्रॉ नहीं किया था.
Shit! Oh my God.
And Rupa either way doesn't carry any cash, and I had hardly some 2,000-3,000 rupees.
उसमें से तुम 1000 दे दिए होगे वो पहले वाले कैबी को.
And then we are saying, okay, cash to nahi, and we had also not eaten food, and we realized that train doesn't also have a pantry car.
Very exciting.
अभी एक तो पीवी को उतना भगा के लेके गए थे, expert organizer, और and because we reached 10 o'clock in the train, and then there was no dinner because the train doesn't have a pantry car. Thankfully, it stopped at some other station, and we got those packaged meals. It was horrible, but at least we got something. But cash नहीं था. And we said, चलो यार पठानकोट में जाएंगे, पठानकोट में विड्रॉ करेंगे, 2,000 लिमिट है, तेरे पास भी 2,000, मेरे पास भी 2,000. So and next day morning we reached Pathankot and we realized वहाँ पे ATM में cash ही नहीं है. So obviously this was a situation all over the country. It was correct. A week into this entire drama that we had gone to this destination. And obviously the small towns either way have very less ATMs. है तो फिर उधर क्यों होके cash खत्म हो गया. And we got out of this Pathankot station and we are figuring out अभी हम जाएंगे कैसे.
We had to get to Dharamsala and McLeod Ganj वहाँ से.
And we had very, very little cash, and we used some of it for our morning breakfast. बोला वही के कुछ खा लेंगे.
Correct.
And really
ये लग रहा है कि तुम स्कूल टाइम में ट्रैवल कर रहे हो. मेरे पास पैसा ही नहीं है ब्रेकफास्ट खाने के, वैसा नहीं ऐसे वाले कहानी.
So initial, and there was no shared taxis at that point of time. And I don't know, in my haggling thing, I think a lot of shared taxis, even if they were available, they had left. So the only thing which was left was a public transport bus. So I said, Rupa, okay, we can't waste money. We have to use this cash. So we have to take this public transport bus. It was a PAN bus, which is Punjab Roadways ka bus. Absolutely rickety bus.
Yeah, खटारा होता है एकदम. And they'll drive at some 100 kilometers per hour एकदम that type.
And I think I sent you a pic also of that bus where Rupa is absolutely hassled sitting inside the bus. And the bus used to stop in all the small towns. It's good and taking people along the way, small villages, and it was amazing experience. For the first 2 stops, I couldn't get a place to sit. But again, at least Rupa was seated. But I think after 5 hours of backbreaking journey, but again, it goes to all the small towns and all you can see.
Sundar Wundar hoga, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But my God.
Yeah. So after again a train journey, next day morning taking a 5 hour again bus journey, I think it was a bit too much, and it took it. Obviously, it was people. Rupa was surely not happy with it. Even I was kind of hassled, but somehow we reached. Thankfully, this is where the surprise happens, right? Dharamshala had an ATM, and it was in the main town square, and there was no crowd at the ATM, and ATM also had cash.
Kya baat hai, bale bale.
And the best thing, so then you realize how low penetration of debit cards is also there in this country. That people don't even have debit cards to properly withdraw from the banks. And the ATM had cash. But kya hai, again, it has its own pitfalls. Right? I don't know if the cash gets exhausted, I don't know how soon it will get replenished. So rest of the days also we were trying to see whether we could get some more cash. We got some cash the next day as well. But each day this was that uncertainty always existed.
Okay, so you guys had a very, very filmy entry to Dharamshala and McLeod Ganj. Was the place worth all the filmy experience that you just had? Did it live up to your expectations?
Yeah, so Dharamshala, McLeod Ganj are twin cities. So McLeod Ganj is at I think slightly lesser height. Dharamshala is on a hill. Most of the folks who travel to these areas prefer to stay in McLeod Ganj.
Yeah.
Dharamshala is, I think, the administrative stuff over there, a lot of offices
and stuff. Cricket ground.
And the cricket ground and the airport there. So I think two things which define Dharamshala is the airport and the cricket ground. Of course, cricket ground is an official tourist spot.
Yeah, I went. So I actually watched the first IPL in the cricket ground there. We saw Dalai Lama who came for the inauguration and all that.
Wow. So McLeod Ganj, you can't directly reach to public transport. You have to get down to Dharamshala and take a shared taxi, jeep or something to reach. McLeod Ganj is on a slope, so a lot of hotels will be facing the valley and stuff. So it's you can get a decent hotel in any budget, I think.
Yeah.
The thing is that there is a monastery, the famous monastery where His Holiness resides, Namgyal Monastery, I think they call it.
Yeah.
It's in the center of the town. So again, it's not like really awe-inspiring kind of monastery, but it's a good. Okay. And either way, it's where His Holiness greets people, and if he's in town, I think there is an audience that you can seek with him. But apart from that, there's not really got much to do with the monastery per se. McLeod Ganj is also good town to eat stuff. So there's a lot of Tibetan restaurants. And I think first time I appreciated veg momos more than chicken momos was in McLeod Ganj. So I think it's because the way they make it, especially in this kind of areas, they used very different type of mushrooms, not the standard mushrooms, butter mushrooms that you use here. Those mushrooms also add a lot of character to the food that we eat over there. I was really in love with those veg momos. I had them umpteen times in the days I had stayed in McLeod Ganj. And there's some nice cafes as well. I think a lot of this, because a lot of foreign tourists come to this place, right? And obviously they were seeking some food which has some semblance to the regions they're coming from.
Yeah.
A lot of cafes are there. And two noteworthy cafes which are now very famous. One is the Nick's Cafe and Jimmy. Yeah, Nick's Italian Kitchen or something.
Nick's Italian Kitchen and Jimmy's.
Jimmy's, right? So Jimmy's, and then some of Wozer Bakery or something of that sort. Good stuff. There's a lot of hippie culture over there. You'll find a lot of students over there. A lot of young travelers from other countries and all of that. So it's a very good vibe that you'll get in McLeod Ganj. Again, music is quite big over there. A lot of restaurants, cafes which have live music, all of that. So in the evenings when you walk across those streets and all, you will have very good vibe.
Yeah, you feel young when you walk around the streets of McLeod Ganj. That is true.
So McLeod Ganj, there are a couple of places to see. There is one waterfall which is called a Bhagsu Nag waterfall.
Yeah.
The reason why many people travel to McLeod Ganj is also to visit Triund or Triund, whatever you call it. Triund, yeah.
The trek.
So Triund is again a trek, and it's almost a day's trek from the McLeod Ganj base town. Again, you have to cross the Bhagsu Nag waterfall to reach there. It's an amazing trek. There are a lot of options as well. A lot of people go there in the afternoon, stay overnight. I think today also there are a lot of camping facilities which are available over there. Earlier there is a government circuit house at the top. So you can plan to stay over there if you book rooms in advance. or people go early in the morning and come back in the night, right? The only place where I had not researched well was this Trayund place, because I was not too sure whether we would want to trek the whole day.
It is a tough trek. I want moderately tough.
Yeah, moderately tough. So we were. So again, a funny incident happened. We were supposed to go there, and the day before, my wife has started having periods. अभी वो बोल रहे कल तो आएगी ही नहीं.
तो ट्रैक कैसे कर सकती है यार?
हाँ पता है. तो so I said okay, I'll go because possibly I'll just go and come and you can rest in the room. Then she said, how long is the trek? I said, I had not researched about it. I said it's just 3 hours. So that's somebody told me. Okay, she said okay, 3 hours possibly I can manage. Let's go. So next day morning we started. बाद में ऐसा गाली खाया ना मैंने. I think या स्टे फ्री या विस्पर का एड में दिखाते हैं ना स्पोर्ट्स खेलते हुए लड़की लोग वगैरह एंड हाउ दे हैव बीन मैनेजिंग विद दैट राइट विद दैट
आई थिंक द एग्जांपल एंड Triund was the
अयो how did she manage? मैं तो बहुत like I would have freaked out if this happened to me.
I don't know how she managed to change and all of that during that trek as well, but she did it. मतलब हम लोग गए हैं. I know it was.
It's a real sport.
See, because we reached halfway and then somebody said, "Okay, और 2 घंटा आगे." She rolled her eyes, बोला
But the views are worth it. But yeah, it is quite a thing that too.
Then I told her, "There's 2 options. Either you sit here and maybe I'll just go and come, or here are the keys. You go back, or the third option is we all go back." Then she said, "नहीं अभी halfway आया तो try करते हैं. Either way, then it's coming down again. It's a different situation."
She has your vibe of seeing places. She loves adventure, seeing all the places and all that. So even knowing Rupa, I would have said कि वो कर लेती है. But this is a big deal, man. Very big.
But the views at the top at Trayund are magical. If you reach Trayund, right, there is a big mountain which you face at the top of Trayund. So Trayund is not the absolute peak. There are other mountains which are just in close proximity, but you see an absolute granite wall in front of you. It's like big granite wall.
Wow.
And that's Trayund. मतलब you तुम सामने देखोगे and it's a humbling experience. बोले तुम इतना पहाड़ चढ़ के क्या उखड़ा हो? एक सामने और एक बड़ा पहाड़ पड़ा है जो तुमको दिखा रहा है कि मैं तुमसे बड़ा हूँ और ये चढ़ के दिखाओ. So again, it's a amazing experience. And since it's at a height, so there's always clouds which go around here. The small slight drizzle of rain will be there in the interim, and again then will be sunlight, and there'll be mist, and then clouds again. So it's a very good place to be, and it will be cold. So it's nice at any point of the year. I think you'll visit it. It will be colder. And, so the entire arduous journey is totally worth it when you reach at the top. And you can,
did Rupa feel so as well? Poor thing.
Thankfully, ऊपर मैगी वगैरह था. There were nice stalls.
शांत हो पाई वो poor thing.
But it was amazing, and again, the descent is relatively easier, obviously. But it was that experience was something. In which lesser amount of tourists. Lot of stretches along the way where only just 2 of us were walking. I
was going to say bada romantic sounding hai, but not during the mindset that Rupa would have been in.
I know.
Oh God. Wow. Does this come via the Shiva Cafe thing, or that's a different?
Yeah. You have to cross Shiva Cafe. Yeah. So from Shiva Cafe itself, the trek will start. And you know what Shiva Cafe is.
Yeah. So we went to Shiva Cafe with all expectations. Okay. So this is from college now. We had gone there. Oh, jayenge, and we'll have some fun. Kuch nahi mila. We tried to go and do like, bhaiya, kuch hai kya and all that. They were like, aisa dekhenge, they'll walk off and all that. The cafe is small, but outside it's a little larger open space. And they have.
And you can see the waterfall. So it's at the top of this Bhagsunag waterfall.
Yeah. It's on top of the Bhagsunag waterfall. So you have to trek up the waterfall. So you trek up the waterfall, and when I had gone the first time, the waterfall was काफी dry. मतलब एक trickling आ रहा था. So instead of walking up, there are steps beside the waterfall to walk up. But we thought, chalo, adventurous. We'll walk up the waterfall. So we walked up the waterfall. It's like through the stones and all of that. You can walk up. And then at one point we could see the cafe. So we then crossed over, went to the cafe, sat, chilled, and all of that. I think you can only have Maggie, maybe pancakes or something like that and all that. Very chill and one hot chocolate, chill for some time, and then we walked out. But we had a lot of expectations, but the expectations were not met.
So even I thought the same. So we visited Shiva Cafe on our descent. So we said, okay, abhi morning mein to kya hi jana. So we'll come back while we are getting back to McLeod Ganj. And because by the time we reached Shiva Cafe, it was very dark, almost dark. We came by late afternoon and evening. So तभी मतलब एकदम psychedelic trance बन रहा है वहाँ पे, एकदम dim lit है और वो थोड़ा laser lights और green type के नहीं होते, वो सब lights flicker हो रहा है.
Very shady, I love it.
And there's some psychedelic trance, एकदम bong वाला type music बज रहा है कुछ तो and हमें बोला यार इधर थोड़े देर बैठेंगे तो हम लोग भी वो ट्रांस में चले जाएंगे ऐसा मुझे लगा. And I don't know whether we'll get down the balancing because again it was unlit and we had to, and dark as well.
And dark.
So we skipped that idea. We just had coffee and left again.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I'm sure the people find they're worth it. Shiva Cafe as well. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, so these are the 2 days I had in McLeod Ganj. Apart from Dharamsala, we wanted to go to another place, which is, and this I had read about. While people, I mean, either way, sparse number of tourists visit these towns, and then there are other towns called as Kangra and Palampur and Bajnath. These are other towns which are nearby, and they're also having some. So Kangra is famous for its fort, amazing fort by the way. You should visit if you are there in that part of the town or part of the country. So similar to Jaipur, but it is made out of stones. So you will get a European kind of feel for that fort because these forts are made out of stones and not the bricks.
Castle jaise lag jayega.
Castle jaisa, yes. It's slightly modeled on those lines. What was surprising is that Kangra is around an hour away from Dharamsala. So again, the same routine. We take share taxi to Dharamsala, take a bus to Kangra. And Kangra, the fort, they have an audio guide.
Oh.
And I'm telling you, amongst all the places I visited in this country which have a tourist attraction which has an audio guide, right? This is by far the best I've heard. And they narrate stories inside in that audio guide. One of the best audio guides that I have ever listened to.
Whoa, that's so impressive. Is this from HP Tourism, the audio guide? I mean.
So that's the beauty of it because this is a privately owned property. I think these kings, they had engaged services of some agency to get that audio guide developed. But it is amazing that the spots are well marked. The audio guide is crystal clear. I think it's available in multiple languages.
Wow.
And they narrate amazing stories. So it's not just bland narration, but which is with background music and the multiple characters over there.
Oh,
it's one of the best audio guide experiences I have been heard. And again, this fort is also very good. It's on a cliff. The other side of the fort is a cliff. It's a non-descript fort. So you just suddenly, that fort exists, and because the town is expanded, you don't realize that's a fort over there. But when you enter it, and the other side of the fort is a cliff, and you realize when you get inside and you reach the other side, it's amazing. So this has this kind of a Gothic feel. This fort, उस type का feel है, and because it's stones and mountains are there nearby, and then you see from the cliff the other side of the mountain, all of that. It's amazing, and they have maintained also pretty well. It's against compliments to the people who are owners of this property. It's been maintained really well. So it's good. So this Kangra fort was a revelation, and I didn't expect it to be this good. So again, we were also pleasantly surprised that such things exist in our country. We are seen in European context, but not seen. And possibly in Delhi, we शायद से आप expect करोगे, but not in Kangra for sure.
Correct.
So Kangra fort we saw. The other thing which we wanted to go to is Palampur. Now Palampur is a tea estate. It's a separate, different kind of tea that grows over there. They grow on the slopes of those kind of mountains.
Beautiful.
The best thing is there is a heritage train which goes from Kangra to a town called Bajnath.
Okay.
And this is a heritage line, and again, it's a small toy train.
Like the Darjeeling toy train kind of a thing.
Yes,
Wow. How cute. Oh, I never knew about this. Okay.
Yeah. So this is the small train which travels here. And obviously, the starting point is Kangra. So I knew about it. I also had researched on what timings of the trains are. So accordingly, I timed my 4 to visit in the morning. Afternoon, immediately we rushed to the Kangra station, took the train and reached Palampur. We didn't go to Bajnath. Bajnath is very famous for its ancient historic temple. We didn't go there. We didn't have enough time. We wanted to cover only Palampur. Palampur is famous for its tea estates. And we reached the town of Palampur. Again, very quaint little sleepy town, and only the tea estates. So there's nothing else in that town. There are only tea estates. You can choose to go to any of the tea factories. I think at that point of time they provided some small tour. You can buy local tea. They'll show all of that, how it works, and all of that. And it's the same touristy stuff which you can do. You can visit the tea estates, take some nice photographs, all of that.
Yeah.
And it's at a height. And
so scenic.
Yeah, it's amazing. And there are some properties also. There's some really good properties. Again, they're properties. So, the budget of the trip can be spent on a night in the properties. Those type of properties.
Fancy and all. My God.
So there are some good properties over there. But again, we took a small auto over there. He showed us all the town city. There is a gorge over there. There's a Nugal River karke hai wahan pe. And there's a gorge, proper gorge. So we valley cut karke river jata hai. I think now they built a dam also over there. You can visit that place. They built a nice park over there. You can do some boating and all that. It's a good place to be. Again, since all these places were sans tourists, it was only us. And so we had an even better experience. All these places were left to us. Even the tea factory, there was nobody, just us. Even the train, there were hardly any folks. Either way, there is this route is this side of the town is, I think, a part of that circuit is even less penetrated and less popular among tourists. So I think this is where you will also have that advantage of having lesser crowds and having more fun.
Oh, wow. I mean, I have been to, so Dharamsala and McLeod Ganj are like one of my top favorite destinations. Okay, I think I have done 4 trips to McLeod Ganj, Dharamsala. Okay, मुझे इतना पसंद है. Even though McLeod Ganj has now become काफी commercial, you can't find pockets of where you don't have too many people. Like I remember, so during the peak COVID time, we stayed 1 week in McLeod Ganj.
Wow.
So that was a work from McLeod Ganj wala trip. So we took an Airbnb, which was just off McLeod Ganj. We stayed in this Airbnb. It was owned by an American lady and such a stunning place. Oh my God. And from the window, complete view of snow-clad mountains. So like we have pictures of working on the table and samne snow-clad mountains. Or thand thi bhi, this is an end of December trip. So it was so beautiful. So one of those days, this lady had kept a small things that you can see and experience in Dharamshala, McLeod Ganj. So there was one walk that she said, which is not very touristy. So you'll get an access to go from the Piche to the main Namgyal monastery. It's a Piche ka route hai. So ye Piche ka route is, I mean, it was me and it was some 30 other monks. There was no one else. It was about a maybe very leisurely hour-long walk. मैं चल रही हूँ, मेरे इस एक तरफ में सिर्फ cliffs and snow-clad mountains है. And then the entire way has prayer wheels.
Wow.
So, there are those flags on.
So monks stay nearby, you're saying?
So this is the back. So monks, they actually walk from that route to go to the main monastery where they stay. The monks, so they are the most active people, yaar. मैं बीच बीच में रुक के करती हूँ, ऊपर नीचे. The walk was really nice. If you go on the map, you'll see something called Kora Walk, Kora. So definitely do this because this is behind the main Namgyal monasteries.
Got it.
So I remember doing this one of the evenings. So one of my sunset walks was this. Now I'm sure many of y'all won't even believe that, ऐसे कुछ जगह हो सकता है in a crowded place like McLeod Ganj. So I have a bunch of photographs that, we'll be sharing in our blog. So after this whole episode, जाके note section देखना, go and check out our blog, see the pictures, see where this Kora walk is, and definitely go and stroll around this particular, a little hike, a little trail maybe is what I would call it. और फिर इसके बाद you reach the monastery, and that monastery that lane has full of those trinkets दुकान ना, 5 earrings खरीद लिया मैंने और very बहुत happy हो कि वापस चले गए back to the B&B. I ate one carrot cake, and I drank one hot chocolate and bought some 5 earrings and went back and things like that. Very nice. And then another amazing experience of McLeod Ganj is, so this was when the first IPL in Dharamsala stadium was getting played. So we were like, humne ko jana hai. And we were a big group of friends. So they said this weekend hum log sab Dharamshala aa jayenge. We want to watch the match together. We were very excited. Okay. So we went before and we booked tickets. So then we went for the match the following day or something. And ये जो stadium है ना, बहुत छोटा stadium है. It's not a very large stadium. So you can actually properly see the people playing on the pitch and everyone around. So we watched the match. It was great fun. But His Holiness Dalai Lama was there for inaugurating the ground, so we could see him. उसके बाद सब match खत्म होने को, so we all went to McLeod Ganj. वहां पे गए तो we actually saw Andrew Simons अकेले, he was walking on the road. Adam Gilchrist अकेले walking. ऐसे कोई भी नहीं था कि 50 लोग थे. We took pictures with them. We spoke to them. It was such a man. ये सब सोचती हूँ ना कि ये सब experience था. It was unbelievable because they were just walking on the roads of McLeod Ganj, picking up trinkets and this and that and all of that. I remember at that time thinking and telling my friends, oh my God, Andrew Simons is so fit. My God, he was just wearing this one shirt and shorts and walking around. Kya fit lag raha tha yaar. And it's so sad thinking now that he's no more, right? It's really sad. So we should like say late Sir Andrew Simons. But oh my God, at that time meeting Andrew Simons and Adam Gilchrist was like so cool, so cool. And we actually saw many offbeat monasteries in Dharamshala as well. There was Norbulinka karke ek monastery hai. It's very beautiful. It has a fountain in between, fish pond in between. It's an institute as well where monks learn different art and craft. बहुत सारे थे यार. And these are all, मतलब any place you go so scenic, like any place you go, पीछे there's a huge mountain, full snow clad. नीचे में कोई river जा रहा होगा. सच्ची में यार, this McLeod Ganj, Dharamshala, the whole belt is my super duper favorite.
या ये सुन के तो मेरे को भी इतना ज्यादा फोमो हो रहा है ना अभी. By the way, Nishant, after this entire McLeod Ganj trip, where did you go next? Was it Dalhousie?
Yeah. Next was Dalhousie.
So Dalhousie is a very pretty place, very covered with mist most of the time, especially after afternoon. It looks magical. Had a great time. Dalhousie as a whole has very little to see around. So there are some waterfalls here and there and all of that. There is an old church which you can visit. But again, these are very standard stuff which will be there in any of the town.
Any place.
Yeah. So there are some couple of places around Dalhousie which are really good and one must visit. So one of them being Dainkud, so which is around 20 kilometers from Dalhousie. And this is a trek. This is around hour and a half trek. But it's I think there is some Pohlani Mata Mandir at the top of that.
Yeah. There's a Mata Mandir on top.
Yeah. So it's a very well-defined trail to the point. Later half of the trail also had concrete steps and all of that. So it's a very well-defined route, but it's absolutely scenic. So you will see, and many times you need to walk on the ridge to get to that place. So and it's absolutely magical. And we went in the second half of the day. The days were shorter, so it was getting dark earlier. So I forgot to tell you, because of this entire demonetization thing, the only good, happy fallout of the same. Yes, because the tourists were very low. Very low. So most of the hotels had seen 60 to 70% cancellations. And it was like empty town. And I've never been to a tourist place in India, at least, which was as empty as that.
Correct.
Right? So I think that was a happy fallout as well. So we could, without any tourists, we could go to all of these places, have some fun and all of that. Could walk nicely and click a lot of pictures. The trail is very well defined. At the end point, you could see all the clouds over the mountain, and suddenly it starts raining because the peak is quite high. It starts raining over there. It's absolutely beautiful. Again, had a great time walking, and there is no mobile network or something. But again, so only all you could do is click pictures and talk to each other.
I was going to say, भी romance आने वाला है. कोई लोग ही नहीं है, romantic है, clouds are coming, all those things. Very nice.
Yeah.
So we did Dalhousie about maybe a year and a half back, and we did it in the peak winter. So बहुत ठंड थी. We thankfully it did not go demonetization time. तो हमारा कैब था. तो कैब वाले ने बोला, so we told them कि कल हमको we want to go to Denkund. He said हाँ ठीक है, आपके पास जितने गर्म कपड़े सब ले लीजिए. एक तो मुझे ठंडी लगती नहीं है. I was like, अरे क्या भैया बोल रहे हो? Because we were walking around there. It was cold. It was nice. Like we were wearing one jacket. He said नहीं, कल आप सब कुछ ले लीजिए. Okay, ठीक है, सब कुछ लेके जाएंगे. और गाड़ी, we have the car to ourselves. So I was like, ठंडी नहीं लगी तो गाड़ी में रख लेंगे ना. What is a big deal? So we went all the way on top, and this is at the absolute. You'll have there's an army checkpost, a big one over there. So you'll see. So your car can't go ahead of that because the army will stop you right over there. So I mean, we went in the start of the day, and we started walking up. There were decent number of tourists, but after about half the point, it gets a little steep. तो वहां पे सब लोग मतलब unless people are very religious, बाकी वो लोग बाकी religious वाले will continue walking के वो हमको आए हैं माता को देखना है. But other than that, most of the people जो फोटो लेने आए तो वहां पे फोटो करके निकल जाएंगे. My husband and me, we continued walking. It's really beautiful. So you have pine trees all around you, and because we went the last week of December, we had snow around us as well. It was not snowed in, but we had snow, like you could see patches of it all around. बहुत ज्यादा सुंदर है. And on the way back it started snowing for us. तुमने कहा it started raining for you guys. So for us it started snowing. It was like this fairy snow. हल्का snowflake वाला snow. My God, मैं खुद पागल हो गई थी मैं. It was just crazy. And then we want to take pictures, but gloves से हाथ कौन निकालेगा? बहुत ठंडी थी, हवा भी बहुत चल रहा था. हम लोग फोटो कैसे लेंगे? Because click ही नहीं हो रहा. We had those old वाले gloves, not आजकल तेरा new age gloves which are touch screen now. And then there was this 5 Maggie wale just sitting up there. Smart people, yaar. Wo log, they know that people will have chai Maggie there. It's just phenomenal to sit in that ekdam thand and have Maggie. So then we finished the whole thing. It took a good 3 hours, maybe I think 3-4 hours. Leisurely you walk around, chill karte वापस आओ. वापस आके we found our गाड़ी वाले भैया. By the time we got in the car, the snow had increased quite a bit. So the car started skidding. So then he was going so slowly. Okay. Then he saw there's one car jo aise, it was going across the road. Achhe skid. Then all the car wale, all of them like अपना brake उठा के उतर के सबने अपना टायर्स नहीं चेन वेन कोई लगाता नहीं वहां पे यार. ये लोग सब खतरों के खिलाड़ी वाले लोग हैं. अपने टायर से हवा कम किया. So if the air pressure in the tire is low, your car will not skid. Yes. सबने लाइन में everyone stopped their car. सबने हल्का they took. So these guys are pros. Okay, literally खतरों खिलाड़ी, कोई चेन में लगाता ही नहीं यहाँ पे. And then we went all the way down. नीचे जाके he dropped us to our place. 50 बार we got off in between because it was snowing so beautifully. You have to experience it, right? It's so nice. Everyone is getting off. Then he said, अभी मैं जाके वापस से हवा भराऊंगा, पूरा निकाला था हमने and all that. I think it's good. I think you got lucky. You went into the snow season as well. I think these places are actually good. And if you have your luck with you, when the roads are not closed and you can visit these places, I think winter would be the best season to visit. It would be absolutely magical, these places. Yeah. So after Denkund, the next day we also went to a place called Chamera Lake. So there is a dam, which was a Chamera Dam, I think. There's a big reservoir because of the dam. It's an artificial lake which has been created. And I would strongly urge everyone who is visiting Dalhousie to visit this lake for sure. So there are 2 places you can visit. There is this Chamera Lake, and after again an hour and a half ahead of that is a place called Such Pass, where people go, and again that leads to a border. But Chamera Lake is totally doable, and there are good boating options in it. It's a huge reservoir, very big reservoir. Wow! And it's absolutely crystal clear water. And the best thing is, I have never seen a mirror image in a lake. Like you generally see a mirror image in a lake. In this lake, there's a mountain in the center of the lake. And you can see a solid, clear reflection of that mountain into that lake. It looks like an absolute mirror. And so beautiful. Again, without tourists, so there are hardly any people over there. So I think we had a couple of more folks who were in the boat, that's all.
But I think it's again a very, very, very beautiful place to go.
Beautiful, wow. Chamera Lake, you said, right?
Yeah.
मैंने गई हूँ यहाँ पे. Okay.
And one must visit this lake. The day after, we wanted to go to Khajjar. See, generally Khajjar is a place for day trips. So
correct.
People see, this is a place where
mini Switzerland. Bolo pehle.
So these are absolutely stunning meadows. And in the middle of nowhere. So these are like covered by mountains on all the sides, and suddenly in the middle there are nice lush green meadows, and there is not a single tree on that meadow. So you will find it hard to find a single tree, and only on the edges you will have the complete Deodar forest, Deodar pine trees over there, and the meadows are absolutely green.
Beautiful.
And there is a saucer-shaped lake in the middle of that. Really beautiful. Again, the weather was cold, all of that. People do day trips here, but I wanted to stay here. So it's hardly 25 kilometers away. So there are a lot of activities which happen here. During the daytime, it's absolutely crowded. Absolutely. Even despite the lower tourist season, there was a fair amount of crowd at this location. People come here from Dalhousie, they do day trips. There is zorbing and horse riding.
All kind of those kid activities.
All activities, they happen over there. This, by the way, this is the location where Kuch Kuch Hota Hai ka scene was shot.
काफी सारे movies would have happened in this. अरे ओहो, दिल खुश कर दिया तुमने मुझे Bollywood reference.
All you need to do is take a horse ride around that.
यहाँ पे
on the periphery of the lake.
And all that.
Yeah. So around the periphery of the lake, of this meadow, they have this entire walking trail where they also horse rides happen. So you have to take horse ride, and then he will show you a lot of spots where movies are shot. Gadar's ka scenes have been shot here.
Again, Gadar. Oh,
some scenes from Gadar have been shot there. Even Roja ka last scene, you remember there where they're in the woods, he tries to escape and all of that.
Oh, ये यहाँ का था क्या? Oh.
So the slopes which are at the periphery of this lake, those are the slopes where Roja ka last scene was also shot, where Pankaj Kapoor is trying to chase Arvind Swamy.
Right? They run down and all that.
Yeah. Again, this is being quoted by the Horsewala.
100 marks to Horsewala. मुझे बहुत मजा आता है ये सब reference से.
So this is alleged according to me. I don't know because I'm not validated with sources कि यहाँ पे shoot हुआ है कि नहीं.
Validated नहीं चाहिए. I like this hearsay. It's fine.
But iconic Kuch Kuch Hota Hai scene, I think that is common public knowledge that has been shot here, where the entire Kajol and Shahrukh scene on that bridge. There is a small bridge on that lake. I think that iconic scene has been shot.
Which scene?
This is the summer camp location.
Camp.
Summer
Got
camp.
it.
Yes, summer camp location.
Legendary वाला है जो.
After afternoon, everybody leaves and it all becomes completely silent. It becomes sunsan. So, and I wanted to stay because this place is absolutely beautiful and all of that, and I heard a lot about it. So we had booked, and the only option to stay over there is, at least at that point of time, HPTDC guest house. There are also two properties. One is on the meadows itself, and another is slightly away from the meadows. That is the main property. But I wanted to stay on the meadows, so we said, we have to stay over there. So we booked a room on the meadows itself. But again, little did I know that after afternoon, there is absolutely nobody, and it becomes absolutely eerie. And the way you look at it, right? Either you like that silence and...
I don't.
And since it just starts becoming dark and it becomes, the mist settles in.
एकदम आहट लगता है यार मुझे.
So suddenly from Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, it becomes like a Blair Witch Project kind of situation. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So in the property which we were staying, we were the only person staying over there. And there was one caretaker. I thought and there is no restaurant over there. They said he will give us meals and all of that. But the only meal he could give us was a Maggie. That too at around 7:30 in the evening. And after that he said, I'm leaving and there is nobody going to be there. And there is no mobile connectivity. Then I said, how should I call if there is some emergency? He said, there is a phone in the room. And later I realized even the phone doesn't work.
ये तो एकदम उस एक जी हॉरर शो का एक एपिसोड हो रहा है निशांत.
So 7:30 we were saying, "Abhi kya karna hai kya?" Because either way it has become pitch dark. There's nobody over there, and then there are dogs barking, and it becomes scary and all of that. And suddenly at 8:30, there's a knock on the door, and I was shit scared. And as I open the door, again, it's the same caretaker. He's come with a small heater. He's saying, in the night, it will become really cold. You keep this handy with you. Then I asked him, Pani vagare? Well, Pani, so whatever water was there in the room. And then he said, and I said, phone doesn't work. He said, I know that. I said, why didn't you tell me earlier? He said, no, but you didn't ask.
फोन है करके बोला.
फोन तो है, but फोन चल रहा है कि नहीं तुम्हारा प्रॉब्लम. But it was fun. I think so. But we were really scared. Rupa was really scared, and there is no network, right? So अभी क्या करें? कुछ हो गया, कुछ करना है, कहाँ जाना है?
कोई आएगा भी नहीं, कोई भी नहीं है.
Absolutely pitch dark. The only light is our room, and there is nobody else. And so yeah, it was slightly eerie feeling, but yeah. But the next day morning when we woke up, absolutely magical again. So this entire meadow was lit up, and there's nobody on the meadow because the first buses and tourist traffic was yet to come. So entire meadow was to ourselves. We can do whatever you want, and there was dew on the meadows, and there was mist and all of that. Staying there is worth it. Despite the season, I would strongly recommend people to stay. Obviously, now you can stay in the bigger property if there is if you have a fear. But I think you should stay in Khajiar and at least a day's halt.
Yeah. I went to Khajiar in again like 10-15 saal pehle almost. We stayed in a hostel.
Oh.
We had the most legendary aloo parathe. So they said, "आप क्या खाओगे?" Oh, we thought अभी they're asking us आप क्या खाओगे? तो उनके पास एक मेनू होगा and we can choose. क्या है आपके पास भैया? आप बताएं आपको क्या खाने का बनता है, जो खाने का मन करो बना देंगे. पोहा बना देंगे, पोहा नहीं है. उपमा बनाएंगे, उपमा नहीं है. मैगी बना देंगे, थोड़ा टाइम लग सकता है. पैकेट लेके आना है. अब क्या बना सकते हो? आलू पराठे बना देंगे. आलू पराठे बना देंगे.
But I think aloo paratha is staple over there.
Yeah, best होता है, best. Thing is, we didn't find it very eerie because we were a big group of friends who had gone. हम लोग को 10 जन या कुछ गए थे.
But इतने बड़े ग्रुप में कहाँ से डर लगेगा ना. मतलब you all would have spoiled the fun that the calm that people might have looked for in such a place. वहाँ पे चिल्लम चिल्ली के मारे बाकी भूत भाग देंगे.
Very true, हाँ सच्ची में. But staying in Khajiar is highly recommended because actually when you go in that between 10 a.m. and like for about 3 p.m. उसमें इतना peak रहता है कि you will have no quality time वाला feeling.
Yes.
तो 50 घोड़े होंगे आजू बाजू. Those घोड़े वाले will come and ask 100 times, चलेंगे मैडम, एप्पल ऑर्चर्ड लेके जाएंगे, इधर लेके जाएंगे, उधर लेके जाएंगे, रोजा पॉइंट लेके जाएंगे. So you won't get time to like leisurely have your own cutie and all of that. So I also recommend that. Khajiar is beautiful. Mini Switzerland.
It's comparable. Been to Switzerland as well. Switzerland is filled with these kind of meadows. Obviously, there are a lot more. But yeah, at least this part I think use and loosely compared to certain places in Switzerland, I would call a lot of Lauterbrunnen Valley, which is near Jungfrau in Switzerland. So I think this is comparable, not exactly like that, but yeah, you can say, okay, similar meadows you have in the middle of mountains. So there is another place near Khajiar. It's actually in between Khajiar and Dalhousie. It's called Kala Top.
Kala Top. Yeah. Oh, Lutera wala point hai na ye.
Absolutely. Again, this is alleged. Again, very many people say
no. This is true.
Confirmed
is true. Don't tell Alleged. मैं मेरा दिल टूट जाएगा यार. I तो went there. I'm like, oh, this is where वो ही चढ़ गया था पेड़ के ऊपर और ऐसे हुआ था and all that.
So Kala Top is again a trek. So it depends on, obviously there's a motorable road and you can reach the top directly. There is a government circuit house at the top or something, and it has amazing views of the valley below. So you can take the motorable road. If you have a cab, directly go to the top and see the bungalow and the viewpoint. If you have time, actually it's a Kala Top is a sanctuary. We trekked, I think, an hour and a half to reach to the top.
Yeah, it's a long walk.
And the good thing of this walk is it's through the forest. So there is very rarely you will see any sunlight as well. So it's hardly you will see, because it's dense vegetation across.
Amazing pine trees all through. It's beautiful.
And see, best thing about this place, right, or entire place is that you will have this scent of pine, right, which we today want as a freshener. And this is there in the weather, all across the distance.
I love the description.
And then realize it. That's why we want a pine freshener either in the washrooms or in the house as well.
Very true.
And in cars as well. But this pine is across, and you'd love that smell. You will fall in love with that smell.
Yeah.
So Kala Top is again, we did a small trek. It reached the top. There are some good views. Again, Lutera, they also told us Lutera has been shot in the same very place. So again, the same Lutera blue screen as a winter surroundings, right? I think Kala Top and this Kajir kind of locations fit the bill for doing that. So this is where our Dalhousie trip ended after doing Kala Top and all.
So we'll add in Kala Top, just behind the circuit house, there is a small canteen जैसे एक place होगा.
Yes.
Best bhajiyas, Maggie and chai. हम लोग कब जब Kala Top गए थे, coincidentally it started snowing that day as well. So you walk across and there's one like a flat piece of land and it started snowing. बहुत ठंड थी. I told my husband, please मेरा एक video लो यार, मैं snow में घूमते and all that. I did all that shit and then it was so cold कि we were like कुछ तो चाहिए. Just behind the circuit house is where the Lutera movie was shot, like in that place. That was where Sonakshi Sinha was living. Because it is gorgeous. Lutera mein jo dikhta hai na, it is so beautiful. And this place is also very beautiful. And wo piche ka that bhajia place. So we say, bhaiya ek plate bhajia. मेरी 8 पीस आएगा. ये बड़ा प्लेट पूरा 50 भजिया. We said, भैया एक प्लेट भजिया, 2 चाय, एक मैगी. We were like very कुछ तो गरम एक प्लेट 50 भजिया. We were like, oh my god, how do we finish this? But it was so nice. It was so nice that पीछे का that छोटा सा one दुकान and sitting in that snow and eating that and all that. It wasn't romantic because 50 लोग और भजिया खा रहे थे वहाँ पे. Well, it was very beautiful. Yeah, this experience is so nice. Yeah. I love it.
No, I definitely want to visit this place, especially in winter, because I think winter will be magical here. I want to see these same places in the snow. I think it will be a different experience altogether.
Yeah. I think we should go in the summer, sometime in Jan, Feb, jayenge on the proper snow, because we went in the last week of December. There was no snow in Dharamsala. Dalhousie mein start ho raha tha. But then the problem with going in winters is we stay. You never know रास्ते बंद हो जाते हैं. तो हम लोग एक हफ्ता डलहौसी में रुके थे. We could barely go to any, like खज्जियार रास्ता बंद था. So every day we used to get out of our hotel. There is something called गरम सड़क and a ठंडी सड़क.
I know गरम सड़क.
So we'll walk गरम सड़क जाओ, ठंडी सड़क से वापस आओ, गरम सड़क जाओ, ठंडी सड़क से वापस आओ. And then वहां से we have to eat something. So because we have come to a touristy place, touristy कुछ तो खाना है. The main mall road of Dalhousie के starting में there is these guys who will be selling 3 different varieties of Gulab Jamuns. Garma garam Gulab Jamun. Light brown, dark brown, black. मैं आपको mixed का plate बनाता हूँ. हाँ, mixed का plate बनाता हूँ. So first set will be Gulab Jamuns. Second, उसके बाजू वाले vendors will be some meat. And then you have like amazing pizzas, like name all those. They're not restaurants. You have to stand and eat, like sandwiches and things like that. So it's very different vibe. I mean, both are touristy, little less touristy maybe. But here, except that one street, there is nothing else in Dalhousie. And you have pine trees around and all of that. Whereas McLeod Ganj has way more in terms of, you can actually do shopping and all that. One of those. You can get
Garam Road, Thanda Road, kya hai?
It's called Garam Sadak, Thanda Sadak. The name of, like, for example, you have MG Road, Brigade Road. Wahan pe the road is called Garam Sadak, Thanda Sadak. So it's one side of, like, sunrises wala part. Now, this place, jo Thanda Sadak hai, usme kabhi bhi dhoop nahi aati hai. It's so well shaded and it's like the mountain like goes like this over it. And it's a loop. So tum Garam Sadak se jao, wahan pe dhoop rehta hai during the day, so it'll be like little warm when you're walking. And it's the other loop of that thing is Thandi Sadak. ऐसे एक और सड़क का नाम है McLeod Ganj. The road that connects Dharamsala and McLeod Ganj is called the Khada Danda Road or Khada Danda Sadak.
Why? Khada Danda.
It is very, very actually खतरनाक perpendicular जैसा road है यार. You are like driving up. The road is so steep. It's almost like perpendicular, जैसे 90 degrees. So that's why Khada Danda. Very, very imaginative names ये लोग रखते हैं अपने सड़क में. I totally love, McLeod Ganj, Dharamshala, even Dalhousie for that matter. मुझे बहुत ही ज़्यादा पसंद है. But even though I spent like 2 months, I have not done Palampur. I have not seen Kangra Fort. Though I know about Kangra Fort, but we didn't see it. So there were a lot of places जो तुमने mention किया. Even though
there is a new place also. There's a place called Beer Billing.
Beer billing is the one where you can do that
paragliding, yeah.
Paragliding, right?
So it's quite popular nowadays. It's in the same route. It's near Baijanat. So you can cover now that as well. And there are proper formal institutes and agencies where you can get yourself enrolled and do the paragliding course or even do a hobby paragliding on there.
And apparently they have like certified wale and all of that. So even though हमको लगता है कि safe and all of those things, they are internationally certified ones. कभी करना है, मैंने not done beer billing, so वो कभी तो करना है. So which means one more trip of McLeod and Dalhousie होने वाला है.
I think it's connected well as now. Enough flights are there to Dharamsala and all. Earlier that was also a challenge. So I think
we actually flew. The last time we did was actually we flew. We got lucky that we got a Delhi Dharamsala flight at 2500. इतना सुंदर एयरपोर्ट है निशांत. उतर के लेगा कि एयरपोर्ट में फोटो लेंगे वाला फीलिंग आएगा. It is such so beautiful. छोटा सा एयरपोर्ट है. You have to walk from your जब फ्लाइट उतरेगा तुमको चल के आना पड़ेगा तुम्हारा inside the airport. And the route from the airport to Dharamsala main is through tea estates.
Got it.
Everything सब कुछ हमने को इतना सुंदर इधर देखेंगे तो वो इतना सुंदर ऐसे हो जाएगा. Very beautiful. Kona of Himachal is gorgeous, yeah, really. One of my favorite vacation states if I think about it. And then फिर क्या Nishant, you finished your entire Himachal leg and back to pavilion.
Yeah. Thus ends the Himachal chapter. फिर क्या एक bus to Pathankot and an overnight train to Delhi.
Very good.
We stayed a day in Delhi. We didn't want to fly back. It was a Sunday, so we had some time. So this time we spent, I think, going inside the monuments that we had never been to in Delhi. And I don't know how many of you have been inside the Red Fort.
Yes, I've been there.
So at Red Fort, a lot of people see, obviously, flag hoisting here and all that. But there is a proper fort inside and there are a lot of mahals inside. Right? There's a proper Red Fort
too. They're complex.
Yes, there's a complex inside. There are a lot of mahals, there are palaces, there are nice gardens. A lot of stuff is there inside. So strongly urge any of you traveling to Delhi to do a Red Fort tour as well. Again, there is an audio guide available. It's decent, it's not that bad, it's good. I think it's totally worth it. It takes a long because it's a huge fort inside. I think one doesn't understand.
I had no idea, huh?
Yeah, so people just see the ramparts of the fort. कि यहाँ पे अपना flag hosting कर लिया, ताली बजा दिया सबने. But the fort and there's a quite big palaces inside. A lot different kinds of mahal. Then there are thrones inside. There's a small museum inside. Totally worth it. One must see the Red Fort from the inside as well.
Oh. While I was staying in Delhi, I had to go to Red Fort multiple times, especially every time someone visited me. So I always used to take them to Red Fort. And yes, most people don't know. They don't get inside Red Fort. It's an amazing tour, okay? It will take you around about, say, 1 to 1.5 hours. But it's really worth the time. I definitely recommend it to people. Please don't just stand outside to take a picture. Like, go in, get inside, get that feeling.
Oh, that's so lovely, or Godly. Now I have added one more thing to my Delhi में क्या क्या करना है वाला list. Very nice. फिर आगे कहाँ गए निशांत?
So there's one Red Fort that we did. Another thing that we did is Lotus Temple. Again, it's a very popular monument. We have never been to Lotus Temple. And the last place which I would again highly recommend in Delhi if you are not been to is Humayun's Tomb.
Okay.
Humayun's Tomb, according to me, is the best monument in Delhi. Hands down, for me at least. It has a lot of history associated with it. And it is very well maintained. It is absolutely... it is a UNESCO monument as well. It is, and it is quite close to, I think, Hazrat Nizamuddin station and all that.
Okay.
But it is really well maintained. And the best thing about that is because only enthusiasts or historians or people who know the value of that monument are interested in visiting that place.
Okay.
So it's very beautiful, but it doesn't find prominence in the standard list of monuments that you must visit in Delhi.
In Delhi.
Yeah, it is not there in the top. It will be somewhere down.
तो 50,000 लोग नहीं रहेंगे.
हाँ, तो उतने नहीं है, बहुत कम होते हैं. Historians होते हैं, school, college के students होते हैं, ऐसे होते हैं. And it is amazing. It is architecture on par with whatever Taj Mahal, and I'm just taking a punt here and taking a leap of it. It is really good. if you haven't been to Humayun's tomb, you must visit in Humayun's tomb. So we went to that place. We have been to that place earlier as well, and it is very peaceful in the middle of the city, in the middle of the chaos, the traffic outside, the Hazrat Nizamuddin station, which is quite not far away. It is a place which has a calm of its own, and the monument is stellar, and it has been well maintained.
Wow, man, this is really impressive.
And the lawns are very, very well manicured. All of that, so you can just nicely sit there, chill, and just kind of appreciate the beauty of that monument.
My God. And you're like comparing it with Taj and all that, Taj Mahal and all that, which is gorgeous.
Totally worth it. I think, and there's a lot of history. So it's a tomb and also mausoleum in the way it's been built. I mean, obviously Taj Mahal also is a mausoleum. The way it is, again, the construction elements are quite similar, and you can see all of the lattice artwork that which is there. It's totally worth it.
Audio guide vagera?
I don't recollect that.
There are guides and all as well, like over there also, so you can find those guides easily.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah. Very honestly, Humayun's tomb was my favorite monument when I was in Delhi. Strangely, it's situated in a very, very crowded place, but the tomb, like the area around the tomb was so peaceful. I would just like to sit there and paint. And there's a park right adjacent to the Humayun's tomb called Sundar Nursery. I recommend that park to anybody. It's perfect for picnics, silent book reading. Like if you just want to have a very calm day, just head to Sundar Nursery anytime. There would be a huge variety of plants, flowers, and whatnot. They also give you walking tours of the historical monuments nearby. Not only Humayun's tomb, but all the other historical monuments which are there. And of course, other than Humayun's tomb as well, I think Delhi is amazing or like beautiful when it comes to historical monuments, right? It definitely is that heritage city for me, where you can go to any historical site and just feel like, oh wow, the history.
Yeah, मेरा तो बहुत overdue है Delhi. Just experiencing Delhi, because I have been to Delhi and वहाँ से directly I went off to Agra to see Taj Mahal, which I love. But still, I need to see Delhi as well. I need to experience Delhi.
Yeah, Delhi. I think winters you should make a visit. I think these all monuments in Delhi in winter, it's next level.
Yeah, वो lawn में पड़े रह सकते हैं, sunbathing and all that. No.
I think all of these things deserve a visit in winter. I think Delhi winter, I think these should be in your bucket list.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and then you visited these three places and then one day on your way.
Yeah, just because we had a spare day.
Very nice.
If you take metro, you can do that too, right?
Yeah, I think
Delhi with metro.
I think it's amazing. The Delhi metro, I think, will make most of these things convenient for you.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey, Bangalore metro also rocks.
बनने तो WIP है, but yeah, WIP rocks.
WIP rocks.
हम लोग इतना है कि हमको वो सिर्फ वो लेआउट बैंगलोर मेट्रो का लाइंस का लेआउट देख के हम लोग खुश हो जाते हैं एकदम बनेगा हमें.
By the way, it's not only Bangalore, okay? Even in Kolkata, we see work in progress wala metro situation. But I do have a question for you, Nishant. In your travels, do you have a do nothing day, because you are like so strict about your, full on paisa vasool wala travel hona chahiye? So do you keep a do nothing day?
Do nothing days.
मतलब जिसमें agenda नहीं, ऐसे नहीं कि पढ़े रहो, but
आजकल करते हैं. I think that's something we keep one day as a rest day, where we do some little light things and don't travel much and all of that. So I think that's the way at least I have started doing now. And now you want to also appreciate the smaller aspects of the town, right? You have seen the big things you have already seen. ठीक है, ये देख लिया, मैंने vlog में देख लिया, मैंने वो देख लिया, सब देख लिया. But let me understand what the other smaller, finer points of this town are. So I think that makes sense. Also now you can't travel every time. It's very hectic. नहीं हो पाता भाई. Especially now if you're traveling with kids, तो please avoid.
That is true. That is true. मुझे भी some part of my trip का do nothing types रखना बहुत अच्छा लगता है. Godly, what about you?
Honestly, sometimes I really like to keep more than half a day of my do nothings where I just randomly roam around the streets, sit and paint, or just maybe take up a book to read. And after listening to this entire conversation of McLeod Ganj, Dalhousie, and Dharamsala, I am dying to go see all these monasteries that you talk about, all those filmy, creepy replays, and all the cafes that you talk about, and try out the Pahadi food there.
Very good.
Yes.
So thank you so much for your amazing story and the entire tips that you shared.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
We had great time yapping about the vacation. You're taking time out, so thank you so much.
Like I promised, this was a filmy conversation with a lot of drama and some misadventures too. So if you want snippets of this amazing cafe recommendations or some sort of treks that will show you views to die for, or glimpses of places that will give you hot or koi hai vibes, or maybe you just wanna check out those mini Switzerland in Himachal, then you can quickly head over to our blog, Sneaky Footprints. Links and details are in our show notes below.
Thanks, guys. And wishing the best for this podcast as well.
Oh, make us world number one, okay? Nishant.
So, in case you're still wondering, we are Misadventures of a Sneaker, a travel podcast where our sneakers take you everywhere, from breathtaking landscapes to quirky roadside attractions.
Yo, do follow our Instagram page, Misadventures of a Sneaker. You know, we put lots of things there. Recommendations, photographs, stories, experiences, and a lot more. And you can also drop us a DM there with a lot of your suggestions, places that you want our sneakers to take you next, and lots more.
All details are in our show notes. And do not forget to give us a 5-star rating on Spotify. We'd be thrilled to see you on our next adventure.
You mean misadventure?
Yeah.
Our sneakers will take you on the next misadventure. So see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.